Today I'm doing my first workout ever using my brand new cap squat rack barbell, and I also have some weight plates here going up to 100 pounds. At least that's what I have so far. So I literally just got this power rack. I finished setting it up last night, so I haven't used it yet for anything, for any workouts at all. So I'm really excited. I planned a lower body workout, doing a couple exercises with the power rack. So we'll be doing squats, hip thrusts, some deadlifts. This is a piece of equipment that I've been wanting to add to my home gym for a long time, so I'm really glad that I was able to make that happen. I'm really, really excited, really looking forward to it, so let's get to it. So before I get into the workout, I'm going to just do a little video to show you guys this power rack. This is a pretty small room, but it actually does fit in here pretty well. It has this right here to store some of the weight plates. And it also has a pull-up bar at the top, so I think that's really cool. And yeah, so here I have a standard Olympic barbell, 45 pounds. And so far I have 100 pounds here in total. So I have two 25-pound weights, two 15, and then two 10. So I'll probably gradually get some more weights over time, but that's what I have now. And I personally think that that's enough for me to start with to do squats and deadlifts and hip thrusts, bench press, that sort of thing. As I said before, it's something I've been wanting for a long time, and it almost makes my little home gym space feel a little bit more complete, or a little bit closer to being complete now that I have the treadmill and the weight machine. And I still have to organize some of this, but here are my other weights and dumbbells, and I have an ab wheel, kettlebell, yoga blocks. And there's still some other things that I'm planning to do with this room. Some other accessories, maybe other smaller pieces of equipment that I plan to get over time, but happy with what I have already. And that squat rack is definitely a really great addition here. Of course, I need to do a good warm-up before getting into the heavier lifting. I already did 5 to 10 minutes of inclined walking on the treadmill just to get the blood flowing and start warming up my entire body. And now here, since I'm doing lower body and I'm going to be lifting pretty heavy weights, I'm wanting to loosen up the joints with some of those leg swings that I did, loosen up the hips and the knees. And now here, I'm working on activating and warming up my glutes to lift some heavier loads. You don't always have to do glute activation before every lower body workout, but I do recommend it because I personally have experienced a greater mind-muscle connection and feeling in my glutes compared to if I were to just skip this step. So I do recommend it. For glute activation exercises, I would say to just do like 2 sets of maybe 15 to 20 reps, but it shouldn't feel like you're really struggling. It's just still part of the warm-up. Now I'm doing some squats with just the bar, no weight added quite yet. And this will close out my warm-up. I'm starting off my workout with the barbell squats. I'm going to be doing 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps. And you'll notice here that I'm taking my time on the way down and on the way up, and then pausing for 1 or 2 seconds at the bottom before pushing back up to the top. As you're doing your squats, you really want to keep in mind and focus on your form. So you want to keep your back straight, no arching the back, overarching the back either way. And you also want to focus on the depth of your reps. So you want to get as low and as deep in that squat as you can before pushing back up. This is my second set, and I went a little bit heavier, but I'm still making sure to focus on keeping my back straight, sitting nice and low and deep into every rep. And if you're struggling with not feeling it in your glutes during your squats, something that I like to think about is when I come down, I'm pushing through my heels, pushing the floor away with my feet, particularly my heels, and then squeezing the glutes as hard as I can at the top. So the next exercise I'm doing is hip thrusts, and personally, this will always be one of my favorite go-to exercises for growing and strengthening the glutes. So we're going to be doing something called the 8-8-8 method. So you'll be doing 8 full range of motion hip thrusts, followed by 8 partial reps or pulse reps, and then finally you'll do an 8-second hold at the end. So it might not really sound like it would be too difficult, but trust me, it really burns and really gets difficult, especially once you get to your second set onward. It gets a lot more challenging, but this was my first set of this, and you can see I was already struggling. Make sure that you choose wisely the weight that you're using, because you are going to be experiencing longer time under tension. So it's probably not going to be the heaviest weight that you can actually hip thrust. Make sure that it's heavy enough to be challenging, of course. But keep in mind that you are going to be doing those 8 full range reps followed by 8 partial or pulse reps, and then that 8-second hold, all back to back with no rest in between them. And then finally at the end of that 8-second hold is when you'll rest. So just be mindful of that when picking a weight to use. Now I'm doing sumo deadlifts, and a sumo stance basically is just, it means that your feet are going to be placed in a wider position, and that's going to target a little bit more of the hamstrings, glutes, and inner thighs compared to a traditional deadlift position. So I'm also doing 4 sets of these. And something really important to keep in mind here is making sure that you can lift and lower the weight with control. So when choosing a weight, of course you want to make sure that it's heavy enough to be a challenge, but not so heavy that your form is sacrificed and you can't actually control each rep. And when you control and slow down the downward phase of the movement, when the weight's coming down, that also increases the time under tension, which over time can help you increase the lean mass in your lower body and that lower body strength as well. It's really important to keep your back straight as well. So no overarching your back when you get to the top or rounding out your back as you go and lift the weight up. So I decided to close out the workout with a superset. I know you can't see it in the video, but I stacked some plates on top of each other and my front foot is on top of the plates. That way, with my front foot elevated, I get deeper range of motion. And I like to think about pushing the floor away from me with my foot. And that's going to help engage those glutes even more. A little bit of a forward lean is okay, but you want to make sure to not lean forward too much. And remember that that front leg, the working leg, should be doing the majority of the work, particularly when it comes to pushing back up in that split squat. So now we're doing the cable glute kickbacks. And this one really isolates the glutes. And I find that it's a good exercise to add on to the end of a good lower body workout. So you definitely don't have to go super crazy heavy on this one to feel it. But just make sure to really squeeze the glutes at the top of each rep when you kick your leg back. You want to give a nice hard glute squeeze before bringing your leg back down. I hope you guys really enjoyed this workout. It was definitely a tough one, a heavy one. My hair is really sweaty right now, as you can see, but I feel really good and really strong. And always remember, with your heavier lifts, your heavier exercises like squats and deadlifts, hip thrusts, bench press, that sort of thing, you want to make sure that, yes, you do want to push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone each time as far as how much weight you're lifting. But more importantly than that is the quality of your reps and making sure that you're maintaining good form and that you're progressing and lifting safely. So try, if you can, try to not focus so much all the time on the exact number of weight that you're lifting. Focus on how you lift that weight. So even if you can lift, let's say 100 pounds, if you could squat 100 pounds for whatever many reps that you're looking to lift for, if you can do that and it feels challenging but you're able to maintain good form, then at that point I would say to increase the weight a little bit. So it's just something to keep in mind with those heavier exercises. And yeah, I really enjoyed this workout and I hope that you guys do as well. I'll see you guys next time.